Hey ratbags, it's Jade giving you the lowdown on how to get the limited time seasonal events like the Lucky Hat and the Smoochie arrows. The Smoochie arrows are actually surprisingly OP and it's definitely maybe worth doing what I'm about to show you. Now previously I told you guys you could only get some of these items in Playgrounds mode. It looks like Obsidian had some events planned, Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day, but because of the PlayStation and Switch launch, they couldn't have any updates going out on Xbox or PC for about 3 months before the actual versions came out on them platforms. So they couldn't do these events and they're saving them obviously for next year, but they do work if you go ahead and change your system. So I logged onto my PlayStation, a bunch of you guys have been asking me to do a video about it and I didn't really see the value. But I thought, you know what, I haven't actually checked out the Smoochie arrows, let's see what they're like. And then I figured, well, if I'm doing that, I might as well do the Lucky Hat as well. And it's simple as this. Go ahead and change your system time and this will work on Switch and Xbox to 17th of March. That's when St. Patrick's Day traditionally begins. It's usually a 2-week window anyway for these events, maybe even more, maybe a month. So anytime after that, and then go ahead and say it obviously as this year, and then boot up Grounded. Make sure that you have closed Grounded down, and then you start Grounded again once you started your system date change. You shouldn't have an update, although there was a hot patch yesterday that fixed a bunch of stuff, which I've already ranted about. So go and check out that video why I was angry with Grounded. But normally date changes won't mean that you need to actually update Grounded or anything like that. So I'm in my shared world that I shared from my PC save to my PlayStation. And just like I explained in my Easter egg video how to get the lucky eggs and get the chocolate from it, although you can't really do anything with it, it's just food. You need to go to anywhere there's actually food spawning in the game and continuously go ahead and harvest it. So if you see regular food like hot dogs, cookies, apples, make sure you demolish them and you might have to come back the next day. Something you can do to help is use the scanner. Pretty much it looks like chocolate is part of each and every one of these spawns. You get chocolate inside the eggs, you get chocolate inside the lucky coins that you need for the hat, and you also get normal chocolate inside the bigger chocolates that you get for the Smoochie arrows. So scan the chocolate pieces that you might have already got from some eggs, or you can maybe find 1 or 2 pieces in the red anthill where all the other food is. So it's only 1 or 2 pieces, it's easy to miss. That might be somewhere where you can find it if obviously you haven't got any chocolate at all. Otherwise, right now, while the egg event is still going on, go ahead and do what I said. Go to every piece where there might be some food, harvest it, and hopefully you will eventually get either the egg spawning or the new chocolates. And yeah, I'm going to keep repeating it. If you don't see him on day 1, you might have to spend a couple days of doing this, going around and harvesting every food location. I'm going to briefly show off the map at the end where you can find some of these spots off the top of my head. Now sometimes if you don't see an egg, you still may see the remains of what was inside it if the ants don't go and eat it all. You can see these grass fibres here. That's because they come as part of the egg, and sometimes the chocolate drops as well. So it's still worth checking, even running over. If you don't see the egg straight away, make sure it hasn't been demolished and the pieces are just laying on the floor. I literally scoured the whole backyard, going to every food location I could think of, so eventually I finally got lucky. Outside the spare tyre in the upper yard, I finally found one of the lucky coins, as it was the lucky hat that I went for first. Although you can see it's buried in the ground, so it's easy to miss. But once I hit it there, you could see it a lot more clearly. You'll need 2 chunks of this coin to go ahead and make the lucky hat, but you only got 1 chunk in 1 coin. I did anyway, so it still might take a couple of days, and this was the only one that spawned on that day. So obviously you will need a tier 2 hammer to go and break this stuff as well. And yeah, obviously get the chocolate. You will get normal chocolate. You'll also get lots of rotten food. So this is why you scan chocolate, even if you haven't come across the actual chunk that you really need, the rainbow coloured one. As there will be chocolate in this, it will be chocolate in the eggs, and it will be normal chocolate inside the Smoochie ones. Then run over to the resource analyzer, scan the brand new resources, the chocolate here. And there you go, it's unlocked the hat for me. You can then carry on using the resource scanner to find more chocolates and hopefully find more chunks. And like I said, if none are popping up, then you're going to have to just go around, get rid of any food that does pop up and come back the next day. And remember, if you do see 2 little red circles, they are going to be the small chunks inside the red anthill there. They're not going to be any big foods on top. Likewise, the one on the corner of the sandbox is the chocolate that you can find at the bottom of the black anthill. So why the big deal? Why is everyone wanting this hat so much in survival? It gives an increased chance of getting loot luck. For PlayStation, Switch or Xbox new players, you effectively get more body parts. You can do this or buy it, giving your stuffed bugs a little pet, and that gives you a temporary buff of 15 minutes. And you can also earn a loot luck perk where you'll be able to get more loot from bugs once you've killed them and harvested them. And that should be through returning all the statues that you can find in certain laboratories. I've done guides for this, go and check them out. So having a third way to generate loot luck with the hat, that's why people want it. Great for getting Black Ox horns. I'm not too sure if it affects getting any other stuff like the new trinkets in New Game Plus and stuff, or the chances of getting ooze. There we go, 5 chocolate, 1 pupil leather, 20 clover, and 2 pieces of the rainbow chocolate chunks. It's a terrible hat for everything else, and it has got something called Playful Pinch, but I couldn't really establish what that actually did. You can test this out in Playgrounds mode, and you will be able to craft it in Playgrounds mode. So I didn't even bother trying to find another chunk the next day. I decided it'd be better to try and show off the Cupid arrows. So I went and close grounded, changed my actual date again on the app to the 14th of February, which was obviously going to be Valentine's Day. You'll know it's worked because on the splash screen at the start it will say it's got the Valentine's limited day event, and the same thing goes for the lucky hat. You can also do this to go ahead and get the Halloween event, put the 31st at the 10th, and you can maybe do it for the Christmas one. Although warning, when I did do it for the Christmas event where you can get a little Christmas tree, it did keep crashing the game. So be warned, if anything keeps happening, something's not right, your game keeps crashing, just make sure you revert the time and date to the same time and date as it should be. The chocolate pinged up on the scanner, and here we go. We've got these Smoochie chocolates. You need the hammer again, obviously, to harvest these. You will get a lot more from these, and you can craft them, and you'll get 10 arrows, I do believe, from each set that you craft. Break it open and you'll get the chocolate chunks. Same thing again, go and scan them at the resource analyzer, and then you'll be able to go ahead and craft the brand new Cupid arrows. And remember, always scan just normal chocolate rather than the chocolate chunks or the rainbowed ones to make sure guaranteed you'll be able to find some of these. So the pretty bog standard arrows, you need feather arrows, and you also need 5 of the chunks. And my bad, you only get 5 arrows, you don't get 10 through each crafting. And what they're meant to do is make creatures fight by your side, but it's a little bit unreliable. This roly-poly just didn't seem to be too interested in fighting against this, and it only lasts a short while. Like maybe only about 30 seconds, if that at all. And if you do it repeatedly, I'm not too sure if it's going to carry on working either, as again, the roly-poly just wasn't interested, and I ended up getting owned. What you can use them for is making creatures passive so that you can then go and kill them. When they're passive, if they do any damage to you, they won't hurt you and they won't attack you back while you're hitting them. I tried it one more time on some All Weavers, and this is when I realised this could be pretty OP for taking on some of the toughest creatures. Now, will it work on bosses? Probably not, but it should work on things like Black Widows, Wolf Spiders, basically some of the tougher creatures in the game. This one was fighting for me. Well, he fired one kind of jet of web before it kind of run out. And if they're already attacking you, I'm not too sure it's going to work where it will make them fight other creatures. But as you can see, this guy wasn't actually hurting me, even though I was blocking pretty poorly. It wasn't doing any damage. So pay attention to the circle underneath its name. Obviously when it runs out, that's when it will start doing damage to you. So yeah, take advantage of this. If you want to go and make short work of Black Widows or whatever creatures are giving you trouble in the game, then go and get some of these Cupid arrows and fire them off and do a lot of damage with your weapon. And yep, I changed it to Halloween, and you can see the spooky limited event popped up. This should normally only give some of the candy corn sweets and basically have the pumpkin on the side of the deck at the front of the house. Unless the event has changed, there's anything else new, but I think we would have seen that in the Playgrounds mode, so I'm pretty sure it's only going to be just candy corn, which is just like chocolate. It gives you a speed boost or whatever, but that's all it does. And yeah, do be careful. If there's anything going wrong, like I said, when I tried putting it to Christmas time, it for sure popped up with the winter limited event, but as soon as I kept trying to load up my save, it would actually crash. So to fix it, just reset the time to whatever time and date it should be, and you're good to go. So enjoy getting that lucky hat. You know what? I might even do it in my single player world because I think it could be worth having that hat, and especially maybe even the Cupid arrows. And let me know how you got on. Oh yeah, I did promise to show places on the map. So here is obviously, like I said, them 2 red spots are going to be where the anthill is. So you might find some chocolate parts in there. And then on the corner here is the black ant. So again, you might only find one tiny piece. So the picnic table, you'll find food. You'll obviously find it in the sandbox too. Not rotten food. I don't think it'll work replacing anything in the trash. Don't bother going over there. You can also find some obviously on the black ant plates, where you find black ants on the shed deck. Just west of the pond here, normally near the Frankenline machine, you'll always find some food in containers. Slightly south of the mysterious machine, you should find on a little hill, usually an apple or cookie or some food there. And then on the other side of the fallen log, if you keep going a bit more south, you normally find again more hot dog containers where food will be too. You sometimes get one piece of food spawn on the south side of the pond, but it's been a while since I've been there over to double check, but you used to anyway. At the corner of the Brawny Boy bin box, you'll also find some, and you will find some just here on the soda can. That's where I got the lucky coin near the tyre. And yeah, near the rocket shaped candy container there, that's where you normally find some more food, just by the hole into the wasp box. And the last place off the top of my head is in the upper highlands. You normally find a donut that spawns here, but usually always is a donut. I swear I don't remember seeing much else spawn there, so it might not necessarily go there. So check them places first: picnic table, sandbox, the grasslands, and then maybe head up to the upper yard each day if you need to keep checking for spawns. And that's it. Until next time, ratbags, I'll see you for more guides, gameplay, news. Laters.